Would you like to finish it, Captain?
No, Data, what are you doing? What on earth is this? Is this what you call art? Here, let me show you. There you go! Much better. See, now I increased the ratings of this show by tenfold. By the way, is it just me, or does it seem that all the women in the future are ugly? Even the holograms are nightmare fuel. There, I fixed that as well. Holy shit, the show is just tripled in ratings now. By the way, remember when Star Trek used to have hot mamacitas? Every single Star Trek used to have one, and now they're going out of their way to make it mamacita-less. I know it's a silly complaint. I guess I should be thankful that Carl Arts didn't take control of the hologram technology, otherwise it would look like this. But anyway, I was very skeptical of this show since the producers were saying that this is going to be like Brexit. Yeah, I'm definitely sure you're going to capture the essence of democracy into this show. It's like a reimagining. Oh, I see. Why can't we just get the old? You know, like if you're going to go with an IP that already exists, why can't you just get the old IP? You know, like, get some of that vibe and make some money. How about that? Why do you constantly have to reimagine things? If you want to reimagine things, here's an idea. Make something new. Just make something new. Is it that complicated? Apparently it is. I generally do not understand this fetish with the reimagining. They do it constantly nowadays. I'm starting to think it's out of spite. I mean, seriously. In the first minute of this show, it has Picard and a chubby-looking Data sitting on a table playing cards. How much does it cost to have that? Probably not very much, I assume. And yet, it was the most captivating part of the entire episode. I would pay money in order to see more of that. Like, literally, just the conversation. It didn't have any special effects, didn't have anything else. It was just Picard playing cards with Data, and their conversation was just so captivating that I was glued to the television. Something that hasn't happened in a while. But that's literally it. It's just like the first minutes of the show. And by the way, the show wasn't bad. Like, the episode wasn't bad. But when I think of the next generation, is that, well, it's not a show that's bad. No, it's an awesome show. It's an amazing show. It's out of this world, mind-blowingly great. And this is not what this episode was. In fact, we notice that Picard is sitting with this based reporter, and the based reporter is generally asking him, like, what is wrong with you, man? Why did you suggest that we dedicate every single ship in the fleet to rescue our enemies? Why are you doing that? What is wrong with you? Don't you see that by doing this, and by saving Romulan lives, you have caused the destruction of Mars? And Picard is like, oh, well, no, you see, they weren't Romulan lives, they were lives, and what I did was great and justified. And I was like thinking that, you know, this would actually make for a great first season. Why not start with that? Why not tell that particular story? Because it's actually a very interesting story that I would like to see more of. Why not just show the part where the Romulans are about to go through the global warming with their sun going supernova and having Captain Picard play the role of Greta Thunberg trying to warn them, and eventually he organizes this rescue mission and the synthetic life forms go rogue and they blow up Mars. That would have been definitely a very interesting season to see, and you could start with the vibe of the old Star Trek, and then you can move to whatever you want to create, and it would be viewed as like a gradual world building. That would be interesting. No, instead I get to see two ugly people flirt. It's like, what are these people? I don't know. But apparently, the dialogue between them is shit. Because we can't maintain the same level of dialogue we opened the episode with. We now have to go to cringe-inducing dialogue. Some guys appear, and there's like some action scene, and she activates her strong woman program and beats the other three guys, and then she runs away, and she goes to Picard, and then Picard goes to the hologram lady, and it was like, oh, it's just like, what? I don't know. But it turns out that she tries to kill Picard by running him up a flight of stairs. So I guess I have to be remembered that, yes, this is the geriatrics Picard version, which would have made a lot more sense if you would have just kept it to really interesting dialogue with him and Data sitting at a table. You know, like, that was pretty much what Star Trek The Next Generation was all about. People talking. Very little action. 90% of the episode was just people talking to each other. But the conversation was great. Though I guess it has to have some really good screenwriters in order to write that in. Now it's all like action. Oh, look, lasers. Pew, pew, pew. And she's jumping and she's dodging. And oh, look, he spits some green shit on her as she explodes. And by the way, speaking of which, why wasn't Picard upset when she was killing Romulans? Like, I thought he cares about life, you know? Like, remember when he would constantly say, oh, set phasers to stun, in order not to kill people? Well, now apparently he's got this killing machine in front of him and he's getting an erect boner watching her just BTFO the living hell out of those Romulans. And like, all of a sudden there's no problem. And by the way, speaking about inconsistencies, what on earth is there a farm doing here? Like, didn't they have replicators to create food? What is the purpose of having a farm? I mean, I guess Picard is a hipster now, like, using outdated tech. I thought, wouldn't vegans complain, by the way? Because in order to have a farm, you still need to have, like, insecticide in order to kill all the insects that are trying to eat your crops. And you also have to burn down every little thing creature on the area, like rodents and bunnies and shit, in order not to eat your crops. But apparently Picard just does it. You know, like, it's fine. I don't mind. Like, okay, whatever. A little inconsistency. I just wanted to critically drink her molar out of that shit. Oh, and the writers genuinely think that the audience has room temperature level IQ. Because apparently Data has a daughter. Spoiler alert! And she's an android, and she's got like this necklace, which only androids apparently get. So we find out that she has a twin sister, and literally in the next scene, we see someone that looks identical as Daj, so obviously it's her sister. And she has this necklace on her neck. But that's not enough. She starts groping it and touching it and tugging at it, and it's like, oh, my father gave this to me. And it's like, I have not seen a character trying to be this obvious towards the audience ever since social justice activists are writing gay characters in TV show, and then literally their first line is like, oh, I'm gay. Oh, by the way, my boyfriend, girlfriend, like my... It's like, we get it. We're not that stupid. You didn't have to just have the character grope at the necklace to show it to the camera so we can get that it's her sister. The moment she looks identical with her, it was painfully obvious. You know, like, here's the thing. Right? The episode isn't bad. It even has, like, this interesting question. Like, I'm pretty sure Daj isn't dead. Like, I'm willing to bet she's going to come back somehow. Cause strong, independent woman thingamajig. Probably like at the end of the season, you see Dash still being alive somewhere. So there's a mystery. There's like even a Borg cube. It's like, woo, what is a Borg cube doing there? But again, like, why Picard? Why? Just why? Why not just have something else? Why not have just some other type of spin-off or anything? Anything but this. It's like teasing people that remember The Next Generation on how good it was. And just taking it away from them. It's like, no, you're not going to get that. You're going to get Brexit. Like, I think this is it. I genuinely think this is it. Like, they are really salty that the people of Great Britannia have voted Brexit. So what ends up happening is like, oh, I see you did that. Well, here we go. Well, fuck you to you too. We're going to create Picard, and it's not going to be really about the continuation of The Next Generation. Oh, you like Data? Well, he's dead now. And by the way, I'm supposed to understand that the Federation is evil now. I guess this is the vibe from at least reading what the screenwriters have to say on the Twitter and all the other critics. It's like, oh, no, Starfleet is evil. Starfleet is evil. Like, why is Starfleet evil? Well, apparently they wanted to rescue the Romulans. But because the AI went haywire and bombed Mars, they decided to, you know, go back and protect their own shit. And all of a sudden, like, yeah, this is an evil act, is it? Is it though? Is it really? Like, if your house is on fire, not wanting to help the neighbor, but instead focusing on protecting your family and putting the fire out is now evil, is it? I mean, screw no border activists, I guess no planet activists are now. You know, like, we notice empathy at pathological levels that we never noticed before. It's like, screw our people, screw our planets, let's help the Borg on the other side of the galaxy. Yeah, I genuinely wonder how can Starfleet live with itself? How can it have a conscience knowing that it decided to protect, you know, its own members rather than hostile forces? But anyway, you know what's interesting? Like, you could actually make an evil Starfleet and it would be in canon. Because if you think about it, literally every single instance, every single episode that we have seen up till now is through the eyes of the captain or the eyes of the first officer. Which means that if Starfleet was indeed a dictatorship, everything you read about the previous episodes is just Starfleet propaganda. You know those red shirts that died on the planet? Are you sure they died on the planet? Maybe they got executed by Picard. Put a gun into their head and bam! And then he had to go like, oh, Captain's log, the officers have got on a mission and have gotten themselves killed by the local fauna. Ho ho ho! See, that would actually make an interesting episode, wouldn't it? Put me in charge, I'll write a couple of things. Yeah, now, with that said, this is the first episode of the review. If you happen to like it, okay? If you like the way I review these things, I'll probably do it more often on my other channel. I'm trying to advertise, I'm branching out. So, I have a channel called Lack of Entertainment. Go to it, subscribe, because I'm going to release the videos there more often. This is the type of content that I do there. So if you like this, you're probably going to want more of it, and you will find it there. Not here, but there. So I thank you for your time. I appreciate what you have to say in the comment section. And I'm going to be excited to see the next episodes, because believe it or not, I genuinely like the story. I'm a little ass hurt that it's not Star Trek though. It's not the next generation. I wanted the next generation, okay? If you disagree with me, that's your choice, but blow me. And tell me in the comment section.